I forgot to tell y'all about this. The other week, we went to a football game, but not for the normal reason. I went to the football game because my great niece, we didn't think about this until we went to dinner afterwards. She is my brother Troy that passed, she is Troy's son's daughter. So that would make her my great niece. Mm-hmm. And she goes to Furman University, which for our family is unbelievable.
Great school.
Unbelievable. Yeah. They came over. We were camping a few months ago, last summer, I guess, and down at the lake, and they came over and we're sitting there talking, and she's getting ready to graduate. And I said, well, Anna, I said, what's your plans after graduation? She said, well, I'm going to go to college. I said, well, that's great. Where are you going? And she says, Furman. I said, Furman what? She says, Furman. And I looked down the table at my nephew, and he goes, no. She is in ROTC, and she got an ROTC scholarship.
Oh,
now they didn't pay for the entire. Steve and Teresa, her parents, had to pay for first year, and they pay for everything else for the next 3 years.
Dang. That is so cool.
That's huge.
Wow.
That is huge. So she had sent them, they asked her some information and whatever, and she had sent them, one of her things is she twirls a baton. So she's been twirling baton ever since she was like 3. And so she twirls a baton on Friday night at the high school football game. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, she's crawling through the mud with the ROTC. I mean, she's living both ends of the spectrum. Okay. Both ends. Right. So she gets a scholarship. And so they asked her, does she have any interest? And she said, yeah, I twirl the baton. And they said, well, send us a video. So she sends a video. She is the only baton twirler in the band for the Furman band. And the Furman band is fantastic. I mean, it's a music school to start with. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we go down to see her twirl. And I'm talking about, she's not just twirling one. She's not just twirling two. She's twirling 3 of them things. And I mean, she's juggling and throwing and everything else. And I asked her when she was telling me she liked to twirl a baton. I said, well, what happens when you drop it? And she looked at me dead cold serious. She goes, I don't drop it. So we do a pregame experience. And so the band's all there and everybody's there, sort of like a tailgate thing down there. And they've got refreshments and stuff, and they got a beer stand over here, and they got a little band playing. So while we're waiting on her to get there, the band makes an announcement, and it says, could Chantel please come to the bandstand? Chantel, we have your child. Chantel, come to the bandstand. We have your child. And there's a little kid up there. It's a little bitty kid. So sure enough, here comes this woman, and I know she's mortified. I mean, she's mortified. Just like, can you not take care of your kid? I mean, who gets their name announced in a thing? So we're sitting there, and I'm actually laughing about it, making a joke about it. And all of a sudden, the microphone goes, could Lamar Richardson come to the beer stand? Lamar Richardson come to the beer stand. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. I mean, what did I do? So everybody stops what they're doing, and they watch me walk to the beer stand. And the guy goes, you left your debit card. And I'm like, oh, God, is there any way we could not tell my wife about this? He says, I don't think so, because everybody here knows you've left your debit card over here. And I felt like an idiot. So I started to buddy up with Chantel and say, listen, kid, debit card, we forget this stuff, no problem. but so we went to the game, and I mean, she did such a tremendous job. I mean, it was just fantastic. We had such a great time. And when she came off, there's a little girl. I saw this little girl in the crowd, and she's like maybe 9 or 10 years old, and she's got her baton with her. And so she's watching every move that Anna makes. So when she comes off the thing, Anna comes straight up there to her, and they take pictures. And because Anna told me, she said, I remember being that little girl, and I remember saying, I want to be out there doing exactly what I'm doing today. And it was it was fantastic. I mean, it really was.
What is the deal with ROTC? Do you commit to serving in the armed forces?
You do. Yeah. And she'll go in as an officer. When she graduates, she'll go in as an officer. And I don't know how many years. I'm sure she's probably got to do 4 years or something like that. But to get a Furman University, and if anybody listening, if you're not in the South, that's a name that is known. Furman University. That's big time. That's big time.
Lamar, great one. Karamia, when Karamia was in middle school, we had a regional dance composition at Furman University, and I had heard of it, of course, but I'd never been. So we drive out there. The campus,
it's beautiful.
God!
I've been there too.
And so now, of course, that my kids are older, Karamia has a friend who goes to Furman and told me, Mom, do you know that at the Furman dining hall, they have a sushi bar? And I was like, for what they're charging for tuition, they better.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up for our newsletter. We never spam you.
Never did.
Get Bob and Sheri exclusives. Just go to bobandsheri.com.
I want to say hello to all the American cowboys with those 18-wheelers out there listening to the Bob and Sheri show, rolling down a highway somewhere in America. I saw you all posted online together, a bunch of you truck drivers. The title was, So Many People Drive Without Their Pants On. Truckers are recounting the most crazy things they've seen on the job, and some are appalling. I'm going to read you a few of them, but let's get in the mood right now. From Bangor, Maine, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Dudley.
But it seems like a month since I kissed my baby goodbye. I could have a lot of women, but I'm not like some other guys. I could find one to hold me tight, but I could never make believe it's all right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
Oh, it's such a great song. All right, here we go. Now, first of all, there were 20 posts, and I would say about a third of them were, I can't believe how many people are driving without pants on. I guess if you're up that high and you just happen to look over, you see a lot of different things, but that's the number one thing. You know, I drive a sedan. I've never gone on the highway by and thought to myself, I bet that guy has no pants on. But evidently, it's kind of a thing. It's kind of scary. Here's another one. I came across this slow driver, so I went over to the next lane to pass him. And as I was pulling up, I looked over. Actually, it was a woman, and saw the driver was eating a bowl of soup. I think she was driving slow to reduce spillage. But I'm like, put it in a thermos, a bowl with a lid on at least. Or maybe don't eat something liquid while you're driving. Have you ever seen anybody, they're driving along and they're looking at a TV? Or they're looking at a monitor screen?
Oh, I see that a lot.
They're watching a movie. That is just the absolute worst. This guy says, I'm a company driver, and because we sit so much higher than a lot of other vehicles and drive through a lot of kind of crazy areas, we see a lot. Last week, I was at a light, and there was a man clutching his coat closed. Suddenly, he whipped the coat open, and I saw he had 2 huge glittery clamshells over his nipples. That's not something that you see every day.
Or ever.
Next one, not me, but my friend who used to truck in the 80s and 90s, he one time got stuck in the mud while picking up at an Amish farm. He was considering calling a wrecker to help him get out. But then one of the Amish workers told him to stay put. About 30 minutes later, this Amish worker came back. You're going to love this, Lamar. With a team of 6 Clydesdale horses. He hooked them up to my friend's truck, and the Clydesdales unstuck the truck in the mud. It was weird, but also super cool. How wild would that be to see that? Did you ever see Clydesdales in person working for Budweiser?
Oh yeah, we had them every few years. We'd have them at the warehouse, and people would come from all over this. We had like 2,000 people a day coming to visit to see them.
Is that right? Yeah.
It's a
they're
big
great.
deal.
They're
It's a
beautiful.
big deal.
This guy says, I'm a long-haul trucker. I've been on the road for 19 years. I've seen my fair share of crazy stuff. I was going through Louisville, Kentucky. I looked at the car beside me, and I saw this guy full on playing the guitar while driving. He had a spreadsheet of music from door to door, covering every inch of his dashboard. How he played the guitar with both hands, maintaining a speed of 70 miles per hour, is beyond me. I just hope he made it to his destination safely.
You got to practice. You can never get good at the guitar if you don't practice. I mean, come on.
This guy says, I was watching another truck driver get out of her truck. When she opened the sleeper door, 5 chickens came out. She brought them all to her chest, embraced them, and carried them away. I was so confused. I guess that's her house. That's her house, right? This guy says, you see everything. You see sex. You see people flashing you. You see arguments, things being thrown, all that jazz. But my all-time favorite thing was I pulled up, looked down, and there was a little dog humping a Subway bag in the front seat. I guess...
I might go there for Jimmy John's, not for Subway necessarily, but I understand.
Yeah.